Well, the new mayor of LA has issued an emergency declaration on homelessness.
Day one, as I said yesterday and as I said throughout the campaign, on day one, I would declare a state of emergency. I actually haven't even been to City Hall yet. It shows the people of Los Angeles that we are united and serious about the city's crisis of homelessness.
But will it do any good? Joining me is Paul Scrivano, owner of an establishment in the greater LA area. Please welcome Paul Scrivano. Paul, we got a new mayor. Are you optimistic?
Oh my God, I'm so excited for her. Oh my God. As I predicted, she's going to be a disaster. She already is. With the rhetoric that she's already putting out there against police, for the criminals, you've seen it with this guy, Keenan, whatever his name was.
Keenan Anderson. Yeah.
Anderson, who is the cousin, I guess, of Patrisse Cullors, BLM founder. So this guy was trained by her. He was inculcated by her. And he made all the right moves that she probably taught him. Make sure the crowd is watching you. Make sure people have their cameras on. And then say, please, 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 they're killing me, they're trying to George Floyd me.
Paul, for people that don't know, Keenan Anderson was a suspect who was resisting arrest, and several officers were trying to subdue him. They tased him. He still resisted. They tased him. He still resisted. Ultimately, he was taken to the ER, and he died with cardiac arrest. Ergo, he's a victim of police brutality. That's the person that Paul and I are talking about. And so that gives you not very much confidence in our new mayor.
No, because the first thing she does is have a press conference with BLM and says, we all know Patrisse and we all know she's feeling the hurt. Look, he died of a cardiac arrest because they found cocaine in his system. Tasers have no correlation to cardiac arrest. It's proven. So
also, Paul, the reason he was surrounded by the cops, I understand, and still being investigated, is he was either hijacking a car, carjacking something, or breaking into a car, or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to make any presuppositions, but the testimony so far that I've seen on video is an Uber driver saying he was trying to steal my car. And you can see the video where he's like, is everybody looking at me? Does everybody see me? And even the cop that was trying to arrest him was like, okay, stand there. Everyone's filming you. So even the cops knew what he was doing. They treated him with gloves until he took off in the middle of traffic.
And by the way, at least one of the cops was black, but of course that's not relevant.
Yeah, it looked to me like two of them were black, actually.
Two of them were black, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Larry, I've said this before. I haven't said it publicly, but I think this mayor is just sitting back, waiting for the right white cop, with the right black suspect, with the right camera angle, and then all hell is going to break loose in Los Angeles. She's just sitting back waiting for it, because then you see what happens. Look what happened in Baltimore. Curfew, martial law, all sorts of reforms against police, like in emergency, not as a regular matter, of course, but in emergency format. She's going to have all these new powers and authorities, and it's going to be ugly out there.
All right, now, Paul, let's talk about homelessness. You have been running a business for a long time. You've talked about what's going on. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. Why is it getting worse, and what do you think this mayor will do, if anything, about it?
Well, it's going to keep getting worse because they like it this way. When I say they, I mean Mayor Bass, Nithya Raman, my city council member, and all the new Democrat socialists that are in the city council now, Ulysses and Hugo Martinez, Curran Price. These are all people that like it this way. They just yesterday, voted for another $50 million in homeless funds, unanimously approved it, but not just 50 million to go here or there, 50 million to use at the mayor's discretion. So nothing is going to happen, because as long as they have a homeless problem, they have a continual flow of money and an endless flow of money to try to fight a homeless problem. Once you end the problem, there's no more reason to tax and to spend anymore. So I don't see this problem solving itself or being solved by the government anytime soon.
If Paul Scrivano were in charge, what would you do?
Real easy. Number one is I would reassign some city departments. So the absolute first thing I would do is give the LAPD the right and the authority to enforce 41.18, which is the LA Municipal Code basic language on homelessness. No sleeping, lying, sitting in public or private spaces. In each city council district, those city councilmen can tell the police, do not enforce 4118 in my district, in their respective district. For example, Nithya Raman tells LAPD, do not enforce 4118 in my district. So the police cannot enforce it. And when I say 4118, that also includes lower crimes like, little crimes like threats without a weapon and public urination and defecation. All that is okay now. That's number one. Number two is I would now take the choice away from the people who are acting criminally, and I would make it compulsory housing for them. If you're on the streets and if you're going to cause trouble, there's no more choice. That's the problem right now, is we give them the choice. Oh, sir, who just defecated on that, would you like housing? No, that's not how it goes. It's like you're up off the street, you're coming with us, and you're going into whatever the housing is. Basically, it's a matter of passing judgment on bad behavior, which is something the government has given up on.
What's that? The great Eldersky is holding a pair of MYPILLOW slippers, and you can have a pair yourself. All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code ELDER. And guess what? Mike Lindell has over 100 sleep-related products on his website. So check them all out. Then, of course, don't forget the MyPillow, the granddaddy of them all. This is the product that started everything. It is still the top product. Go to MyPillow.com. Did I mention promo code ELDER? Or call the number on your screen. Also comes in different sizes. And then, of course, you have the six-pack, MyPillow six-pack. It says towels that work, because Mike found that a lot of towels in the stores look good, feel good, maybe even smell good, but they don't absorb the water, which is the whole point. So these are towels that actually work. Again, go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER, or call the number on your screen. Finally, this is the Giza Dream bedsheet. Giza is in Egypt, where the finest cotton is grown. I know this because Mike went around the world to find it. And they come in different colors, they come in different sizes because beds come in different sizes. I guess they come in different colors too. Mine is white because after all, I am the, wait for it, black face of white supremacy, but you're not. So if you want your own Giza Dream bedsheet and you're gonna have an amazing time sleeping on these puppies, call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. Paul, when you say they're going to go in whatever housing there is there enough housing?
Well, I know that there's a lot of empty jail cells, and I'm trying to think of the exact source it was. I won't remember it now, but they were saying that this one shelter has like 300 beds, and only 47 of them were filled. So yeah, there's housing. And then here's the other problem, is they keep calling them our unhoused neighbors. These people are not my neighbors. These people were not born, raised, or live or work in Sherman Oaks. They're coming in, like we talked about before, from out of town, from all over the country. And then they call them their neighbors, which means they have a right to be housed in my neighborhood. No, they don't. If they want to build housing, they need to build it outside of the neighborhood where you can afford land and build the housing away from the civilized population, which is, sounds like a prison. Yeah, kind of sounds like a prison. But for these people that are doing nothing but causing trouble and destruction, they need to be housed away from, so that way there's no pushback from the neighbors. Every time they try to build something or get something zoned and built, the neighbors push back on it, obviously. And
Paul, our last LA County Sheriff, Alex Villanueva, told me and said publicly pretty much what you said. He said they were tying his hands. He couldn't enforce the law. He ran for re-election. He got clobbered. What does that say?
Well, it says that there is power in the unions. I believe it's the unions who put it out to their members, vote for Sheriff Luna, vote for Mayor Bass, vote for Lindsay Horvath. If you look at Karen Bass's election website on her endorsement page, She was endorsed by dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of unions, community organizations, and each one of those unions, each one of those community organizations represents a voting bloc. Whether it's 1,500 people, 2,500 people, 5,000 people, they're told, and they endorse the mayor because those unions tell their members, this
Right.
will give us stuff. This mayor will make our lives easier, so go out and vote. It's impossible for someone to win against that machine.
Paul, last question. As you know, Karen Bass ran against Rick Caruso. He's a developer. He had a plan to deal with the homelessness. He spent $100 million of his own money, and he was beaten pretty decisively. Assume for a moment that Rick Caruso had won. Would we be having a different conversation right now?
We'd be having an entirely different conversation. But first, I'm going to take issue with you saying he was beaten handily. He was up by 12,000 votes at 2:30 in the morning. Election.
You think they stole the election?
I believe they stole the election. Why do I think they stole the election? Because after Tuesday, after the vote was done, he was up 12,000 votes. And then suddenly she says, well, now we have to count the mail-in votes.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 weeks after that, who has control of the votes? The letter carriers, the mailmen. They have control of the votes now. And who endorsed Karen Bass's election? The Letter Carriers Union, local number 24. Look on her website. The letter carriers, the Association of Letter Carriers.
And of course, your allegation is under investigation. I'm being sarcastic. So my last question again is, assume Paul Caruso had won. What kind of conversation would you and I be having about homelessness?
Well, the conversation we would be having now is Rick Caruso would be facing incredible backlash for would have already started taking people off the street because he is like-minded saying there's a homeless problem and then there is a criminal homeless problem. And the criminal homeless problem, we can arrest our way out of that part of the problem. The desperate people that are on the street, the desperate women who are getting beaten by their husband, they're not criminals. We treat them differently. But the guys who are coming onto property, destroying property, starting fires on my properties, encampments, threats,
Right.
fights, break-ins, those people, we can arrest our way out of this problem. That's what Rick Caruso would have done, I believe, is take those people off the street because he's been a victim of it. This is why in the first place, because he got raped by these people at his shopping centers. And he said enough.
Paul, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in the area? What are your plans going down the road?
I don't know, Larry. I got a heart that I had to fix. I had a heart attack 4 years ago, as you know. And now I'm having some nerve damage in my foot that's causing me some problems. And it's very hard to heal a heart and nerves when you're in the constant state of stress that we as retailers are facing on the street level in the city of Los Angeles. So I backed away from the restaurant for the past couple of weeks. And I'm just doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of thought right now to see if I stay in that direction or if I go in a different direction. Yeah, and again, I haven't said that publicly, but I'm saying it now because it's more important for me to stay alive and to heal myself and to be strong than to be basically employed and dead.
Right. Well, there are lots of people who feel the way you feel, and you would not be successful if it weren't for the fact that you work hard and that you're driven. You have lots of options, as you well know, one of which is not to stay here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fighter. I mean, that's what I am. But sometimes you just realize that the fight, it's not even David and Goliath. It's David and 600 Goliaths. And, you know, that one slingshot doesn't kill 600 of them. And that's kind of the place that I'm in right now is to figure out if it's even worth the fight. Because, again, I don't want to be dead. And I don't want to have another heart attack. And I don't want to become a hobbled man because I can't fix my nerves. So I have to figure this out. I don't want to leave. This is my home. I've been here for 30, I don't know how many years, since I'm 22 years old.
Right.
My home. I've worked hard. I've built a business. It's the last thing I want to do. And I won't leave. And it won't be leaving with a golden parachute. If I do, I'll basically be starting over. But again, I either start over alive and healthy, or I stay here and I'm dead.
We'll have to leave it there. Paul Scrivano, entrepreneur, Greater LA area. Paul, thank you very much for coming on. God bless. When we come back, a longtime former ESPN tennis commentator was fired for allegedly making a racial slur live on the air. He sued, won a settlement, but is still being blackballed from calling tennis matches. Well, it is time. Can you feel the tension? It is now time for our giveaway. We're giving away 5 of these Larry Elder mugs. Who wouldn't want a Larry Elder mug? Let's announce the winners. Jennifer Goins, Cheryl Radamil, Gloria Pellet, or Pillow, James Lockwood, and Dawn Roth. I want to thank all of you for participating, and if you didn't win, don't feel bad. We're going to have more giveaways down the road, so stay tuned to The Larry Elder Show, which you can find on LarryWithEpoch.com. That's EPOCH, LarryWithEpoch.com. I'm Larry Elder. This has been The Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. And remember, we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time.